Hello and good morning, everybody. It's obviously Patch Notes Day. It's Thursday, the 15th of June, and we have the summer update, which is being called Always Courageous. Now, I'm trying something new here because I've got a webcam set up there on the PC, and I'm using OBS to try and record this video. So, whereas everything is being captured on a screen to my right, I'm going to be looking towards the camera and towards the browser window here as we go through what is in the patch notes. So let's get into it. Obviously, Monday morning is or Monday morning for the UK is when the update is released. What have you got there? 3.2 gig. PS4 is quite. Oh, PS5 is very small, 802 gig. I don't know why it's so big for the Xbox, but there we go. So let's just click over a tab and we'll watch the video and see what's contained in the update and how dramatic Wargaming going to make it.
Captains, summer is upon us, and so is the new update's content. Let's dive in. This update includes 4th of July celebrations, and we do have some themed content for you. It includes Popeye collaboration, Semper Fortis card collection with Lady Liberty Commander guys as the final reward, and 2 new premium cruisers. Tier 7 San Diego with a special skin available, and Tier 8 Salem. Start the festivities now. The collaboration content includes 2 exclusive guises with voiceovers for American commanders, Popeye the Sailor Man and Bluto the Terrible. Their respective flags, special Spinacher skin for the Colorado battleship, and a spinach patch to wear proudly in your battles. It's happening. Fleets become available for everyone. Create and improve your own with special resources, invite friends, and prepare for more. To the stars. Stellar Clash makes an impressive comeback with new skins for legendary ships such as Minotaur and Hakuryu, and a revamped crate with previous content available inside. Go to the store to learn more. A classical look at campaign, this time rewarding American premium cruiser Tulsa. She's available upon campaign completion with Admiralty backing active and features accurate guns, powerful AP shells, and improved radar. Go get her now. For the first time ever, you'll be able to compete in the brawl for the whole duration of the update. Fire and sail faster, play with friends, win prizes, and complete campaign missions. What are you waiting for? Spend the summer on the seas and turn the tide.
Okay, so that was quite interesting. They seem to have packed a lot into this update, and if you aren't reading the patch notes, I would suggest that you do, because there is a code here that you can enter at WoWsLegends /code -redeemer, and you'll get 6 red, white, and blue camouflages. So here we go. Fleets are coming. This is what people have been asking for, I think. They've been asking for clans. Wargaming have called it fleets. Exactly what it does entail, we will find out tomorrow on Friday. There's going to be a separate post with regards to fleets, but do I even want to speculate? I did say that the starter fleet was 20 players, so get 20 of your friends or the people that you play with regularly together and start a fleet. There was mention of reducing your ship repair costs, so perhaps there are bonuses to being in a fleet with other players, but that does that mean that it's going to be detrimental to those people who prefer to play solo? Are they going to want to be part of a fleet to get the benefits that come along with being in a fleet? So I guess we're going to have to wait until tomorrow and see what the dedicated notes see for that one. American content, obviously, it's coming up for the 4th of July, American Independence Day. Also, an Independence Day for me, because way back in 1989, on the 4th of July, I joined the British Army, and I then left on Halloween in 2005. So, Independence Day, and then an absolute bloody nightmare since then with Halloween. Lots of random bundles. Popeye collaboration. All those people that toot their horn at the start of a match. You're obviously Popeye the Sailor Man. And we've obviously, is it Bruto or Bluto? his arch nemesis. Um, it isn't a captain. It is a guys. So be prepared to be hearing Popeye going like that or whatever it is. And geez, I'm surprised they haven't thrown in Olive Oil and Alice the Goon as well. So if you've watched Popeye cartoons when you're a kid, you probably know who all of those are. An update long brawl. Now there is something about this further on down in the patch notes, and we'll get to that. But um, it was interesting to see on one of the community streams. Who was it? It was Prince Blip who says that he doesn't take part in any of the competitive modes, which I thought was quite interesting and nice to see that Wargaming don't force their staff to take part in these modes and give them the option to decide whether yes or no I'm going to do it. Brawl and arenas and things like that, they can be fun, but they can also be a bit of a grind. But what they can be good for is earning a lot of credits quick. And I think Wargaming nerfed the amount of credits you could get in Brawl and things because people were absolutely abusing it completely to make tons of credits. It's nice weather outside. I've been enjoying some time away from the PlayStation and I probably still will. It's a dad's weekend for me, so I'll be away doing stuff with Charlie all weekend. So I probably won't be playing much before Monday. New ship for steel, USS Salem. I did see a few posts when they were going on about the new campaign ship, the Tulsa. Somebody said, "Hang on, there's a whole number here. That's the USS Salem." Salem, which is strangely the name of the cat that lives at the end of the street from me, a few doors up. And it's a big black thing, like in Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Um, but we've got a new ship for steel. Does it say the price further down in the patch notes? I don't know, but I have seen something that is going to be a massive, massive disappointment to those people who own the Missouri. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of unhappy campers there. But we've got epic modifications at the moment. Legendary modifications are here, and there's going to be even more unhappy Missouri owners when you see um, what the legendary modifications are about. And then it says obviously and more. There is a lot to go through here. So here we go. Fleet is here. Um, so you can play with your friends. As you play, you'll earn oil, the special resource which can be spent on useful enhancements to increase your fleet size, reduce the cost of post-battle maintenance, and more. I don't know if we can get into that. It doesn't really show us what is there. Um, yeah, it shows us a list of fleets that are available to join, but it doesn't really show us a lot about what all the perks are of playing. Fleets is not available on mobile, so there you go, you'll have to wait a little bit longer. So here we go, dedicated article on fleets tomorrow, June the 16th, which is, yeah, it is Friday, June the 16th. Right, Independence Day celebrations. They've got a very nice graphic there. I might have to use that as a splash screen for a live stream or some of my videos. But it does look quite pretty, even if it is a bit America. Ooh, yeah, with the soaring eagle, the star-spangled banner, and old Lady Liberty strapped to the front of a ship, having her fanny washed with salt water. But here we go. So Independium, which is obviously the 435th element on the periodic table, is going to be the event currency. So we've got a dedicated campaign, okay, both with and without. So it's going to be available through playing the campaign. Random bundles, does that mean it's going to be crates that are bought? And by completing a mission. Okay, rewards include Popeye content, Semper Fortis collection crates, which is going to be the next card collection. Stars and Stripes random bundles. I like how they call it random bundles. They should just call it loot crates and have it done with. San Diego and Stars and Stripes random bundles. Here we go. Two new bundles available. One is centered around the cruiser San Diego. More on her later. Okay, so we've potentially got three ships here: Tulsa, Salem, and San Diego. So three cruisers. That's a lot of ships to be dropping in a single update. Um, wow. Yeah. Here we go. So we've got some Stars and Stripes permanent camos for Des Moines and Minnesota. Okay, Liberty Calls San Diego bundle is available for doubloons. Okay, so we have got the campaign cruiser reward in the Tulsa. We have got a steel cruiser by way of the Salem, and we've also got a doubloons ship, which is the San Diego. So there we go. So there'll probably be an XXL bundle, an XL bundle, and the ship itself. Tier 7, I think the current price is around 17,000 doubloons, isn't it? It's what, 60 pounds, about $75, about the same as buying the campaign out on day one. So if you've got the steel and 150 bucks, then you can buy out the campaign, buy the San Diego, and then just eat ramen noodles for the rest of the month. Oh, this is the bit that I'm going to hate. This is the bit that I'm going to absolutely hate. Obviously, over the last two updates, we've had that ridiculous special mission on for the Japanese ships to get the card collection. Semper Fortis appears to be the American version of the same set of missions, so we'll probably see a set of three missions which are designed for lower tier, perhaps up to tier 7, and then an extra set of missions for tier 8 and legendary. And Wargaming, if you are listening to this and watching, please consider giving us an even split of, let's say, 2 to 6 and 7 to legendary, because it just throws the game in one direction for 5 weeks. The amount of Shimikazes and Yamatos that have been in this game for pretty much the last 10 weeks, because people weren't able to complete those missions at Legendary, so you brought them back with Tier 8 available, and then it was just as bad for the last 5 weeks. I've avoided Legendary like the plague. I've gone in, I've played my missions, and I've gotten the hell out of there. Or I've been taken in my daring and absolutely smashing ships to pieces because I'm so fed up and I just want to annoy people who are just destroying the game. Well, wargaming and destroying the game. It's been awful. Don't do it. Have a better balance on this. Let's split these missions down. Let's say 2 to 5 or 2 to 6 and then 7, 8 and legendary. Give people the opportunity to play ships that they want to. Don't force them into a tiny, tiny bracket of ships. A legendary collaboration with Popeye. There we go. Bluto the Terrible. So we got flags for each of them. So they're probably going to be 5,000 doubloons each if the current price of geysers is to be used. So 5,000 doubloons, 10,000 for both. A ridiculous waste of money because all it does is put a silly voice and some sparkly traces probably onto your guns. Allow me to take a sip of my coffee and wet my whistle. But we get down to the most important bit, which is obviously the campaign. And here we have it, the Tier 8 Premium American Cruiser, the Tulsa, which I've been reliably informed from many sources is basically a Des Moines, but with 2 guns per turret instead of 3. So that should give you an idea of what it's going to be like playing this ship and what it's going to be like going against this ship. Yeah, be prepared for a lot of HE spam, and it's obviously got radar. So if you're a DD main, be prepared for your life to be made even worse because it is yet another radar cruiser. I imagine that the Salem also has radar, and perhaps the San Diego also has radar. We'll have to wait and see what the specs of those ships are, because I don't have access to it, and I probably won't be able to see it until Monday. But campaign rewards, let's just have a look through these. So 100, I always buy Admiralty back-in, and for those of you that are new to the game, that are perhaps new to my channel, I don't have a beef with wargaming. However, I do believe that many of the items in this game are ridiculously overpriced. It is a free-to-play game. However, it is not sustainable in a free mode. There are people who will play completely free to play, but realistically, I think in the longer term, it isn't a sustainable way to play this game. You will end up doing something as simple as buying premium days to give you the added bonuses. From my point of view, the two things that are most value in this game are premium time and Admiralty backing for the campaign. Premium time because of the bonuses that it gives you in credits, in Commander XP, in Global XP. They are worth it. It will give you a big boost to that and make the grind just a little less painful. And certainly if you want to be buying a lot of ships, then if you're playing tier 7 premiums at the moment, you get a huge boost to your credit income. The other thing that I say is of value in this game is Admiralty backing. Um, Obviously we've got tier 8 now. It used to be tier 7 that you got as a reward, but we are now getting a tier 8 premium ship for basically 2,500 doubloons. It is very rare that you will find something that is worth having in this game for 2,500 doubloons. Admiralty backing is that one thing. Looking through the list here, we've got 100 boosters, which, yeah, are they worth anything? Not really. We've got 20 camos, yep, they're good for paint. 20,000 global XP, that's always good to have. 450,000 commander XP, that's obviously useful for promoting your commanders and buying universal commendations if you have a 16-4 commander. Research points are used for bureau projects. I don't have any bureau projects, and I haven't seen mention of a bureau project in this update. 2 million credits you can probably pull together in a handful of games, probably 5 or 6 games at tier 7. You can pull 2 million credits together. This insignia is always hard to come by, so getting 4 out of a campaign is certainly worth it. Promotion orders, I've got about 2,000 of them, but if you're still promoting commanders, you're getting 3 times as many. And these are extremely useful in promoting your commanders up their legendary levels, which is the universal commendations. Excuse me. A week of premium days, 750 doubloons. So if you're spending 2,500 on the Admiralty back-in, you're actually not spending the full whack. What is it? You're spending 1,750 because you're getting 750 doubloons back. With the end of the spring campaign, we switch across to the summer big crates, and we'll come on to that in a second. 12,500 Independium, so that's going to be paying for the Popeye content and perhaps another little bit of stuff. 1 commander crate, so that's going to be patch and background, a flag, and obviously the ship as the campaign reward. So there we go. Now, one thing to take a bit tongue-in-cheek here is where Wargaming turn around and say that all this stuff that you're getting in the game is worth nearly 78,000 doubloons. It's not. It's not worth anything. It is not worth a single thing. It is pixels that are produced and stuck onto a server. It isn't worth anything whatsoever. So don't believe that. What you've got to look at with regarding values is what you can make use of in these collections of items. And as I say, for me, the most important things are insignias, universal commendations, um, and obviously the ship at the end of it. So here we go, Brawl, season 11 of Brawl. We can play it for the entire update. So account level 6 or higher with any ship tier 3 to tier 7. So are we going to get a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5 weeks with with 1 week of each tier? Tier 3 is going to be interesting to play a Brawl. I'm going to have a sip of coffee again. But there we go. They've opened it up to practically, yeah, anybody and everybody, and new players. If you're going to go in a tier 3, honestly, make sure you've got a safe space to go and sit in and cry afterwards, because it isn't a pleasant experience if you've never been in Brawl before. So here we go. We've got another article on Brawl coming next week. So it's an experimental version of Brawl. Let's see. It would be nice if they just left Brawl in and did a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or a 5, 6, 7, 8 legendary, and just left Brawl in there every single week. Now, this is something that I'm not looking forward to. Um, Now, they said they're bringing back Stellar Clash event content, right? They're not actually bringing back the event by the looks of this. So this is just crates with skins, and they are throwing some new skins into those crates. Stellar Clash was one of the most god-awful game modes. I think people were having epileptic fits playing Stellar Clash. But yeah, it looks as though they're not bringing an event back. They are just bringing the content back. So here we go. They're bringing some improvements to mobile. Obviously, we're at the end of the current early access at the end of this week. So with the new update, we're going to see Italian destroyers become researchable. I've only got the tier 4 and the tier 5, so that's going to be a long grind for me. I could use some of my global XP to boost it, but if you boost it, you don't learn. So we're going to have to get some hours in on those Italian destroyers, which isn't going to be fun with all of those radar cruisers dropping in game next week as well. And the tier 8 Adriatico has arrived, so that hasn't been available with the early access. So here we go, balance changes and legendary modifications. And when I looked at this, I thought the color's wrong, and then I read down further. So we've obviously all gone through the pain of grinding out a crap ton of missions to get our epic modifications. And no sooner had we got them than Wargaming changed the entire system to how they get their stacks. For example, secondaries. For every 50 secondary hits you got, you would get 1 stack. So once you got 250 secondary hits, you were on 5 stacks, which was the maximum. For main battery reload, it was it every 50 gun hits? But apparently that disadvantaged cruisers with slower loading guns. So they leveled the playing field and said for every 30,000 damage, no matter which modification it is, every 30,000 damage, you get 1 stack. Which was... I understand it, but I don't think it was the best way to do it. But it is a case of Wargaming can do whatever the hell they want, and we as a community just have to suck that ship up. There are so many games that have an option, they have an or, so you can do this or this. So why couldn't we have epic modifications where, for example, the secondary booster, you get 50 secondary gun hits, or you do 30,000 damage. Simple. You get 3 torpedo hits, or 30,000 damage. You get 2 citadels, or 30,000 damage, although I imagine 2 citadels from a battleship is going to be at least 30,000 damage anyway. But I did do a review of around a dozen gameplay videos of me playing destroyers, and it did kind of balance out between the 30,000 damage and the old style, how many hits or how many citadels and things that are needed. But I really do think that could be an or, because it again gives people the option in how they want to play the game. They can go for citadels or they can go for damage. Now what they've done is they've turned the game completely across to damage hunting. So the guys who before could wait for a ship to go broadside and slap it for a citadel, no, they're now just going to be hunting damage. Destroyers, they're going to be hunting damage. You know, it's disappointing that they couldn't change this, but here we go. Right, whatever you do not sell. Do not sell your epic or legendary modifications. But what I did see here, in addition, it now costs 25 doubloons to dismount any modification. This includes epic and legendary modifications because that was 250 doubloons. So that's a good thing. He says, and I've just realised that the reason I'm not getting a buzz off this coffee is because I've made decaf, because I shouldn't have too much caffeine. But here we go. This is what we're going to get. And sorry, I missed the most important bit. Epic modifications can be further upgraded to legendary for 2,000 steel badges. Now, if you remember earlier at the start, I said all those people that bought the Missouri are going to be absolutely ranting at this, because unless you bought the Missouri during this update, you're screwed. If you bought the Missouri this upgrade, you were going to have steel badges refunded to you. The price of the Missouri is dropping to, and I think this is right, but we'll find it down here later, 17,500 steel. That means that there are a heck of a lot more players going to be able to buy that ship. But now we've got the option of the Missouri or the Salem. But for each modification that we have here, it is going to be 2,000 steel badges to upgrade them. Now, if the Salem is 17,500 and each of these modifications is 2,000, I've got just enough steel to buy all this out, which would be nice, but it then throws away all my steel. So that remains to be seen. But here we go. The way that this works is that legendary boosts are activated each time you sink an enemy ship. So I don't know whether this is I'm trying to make sense of it. So legendary modifications provide both the epic mod bonus and even more buffs each time you sink an enemy ship. Okay, so that's the way it works. It stacks and stacks. So let's say I don't know what we're going to go for. Let's just do this. Right. So you hit 30,000 damage, you get 2% to your range. In fact, no, we use this one because this one makes my Georgia guns like rail guns. So artillery plotting room mod 2. For every 30,000 damage you do, you get a 2% reduction to your dispersion up to a maximum of 10%. But for every kill that you get, you're going to be doing an additional 5% damage. So if you kill a ship before you do 30,000 damage, you're going to be doing 5% more damage before you get your epic boost stack, the way I read this. So that means that if you kill a destroyer and get yourself, let's say, 12,000, 15,000 damage, you're actually going to be doing 5% if you run a legendary. You're going to get 5% more damage, but still not even have that reduction to your dispersion until you've got 30,000. So if there's any incentive now to try and kill the little ships or the cruisers, those lightly armed cruisers that sail broadside, this is going to be the time to do it. Because for every kill, I mean, all right, you've literally got to have a Kraken to be getting the maximum boost out of that. Um, but does it say? Yeah, each boost can stack up to 5 times. So I think saying that that's going to stack 5 times for each, like, or stack 5% for each kill, you're going to need a Kraken to be getting 25% out of it. That's a little a little bit daft. Will they rework this? I don't know. But how many times do you see a Kraken? For me, it's about once, or on average, um, once every 80 games, 4 kill games, hundreds of them. But there we go. Um, we are going to carry on down here, and then we're going to skip across here to look at the balance. But people getting lots of kills are really going to be smashing things out of the ballpark with this legendary mods. So have you got the steel there to be able to do that? I might choose one or two, but I doubt very much at this stage that I would upgrade every single one of them. So here we go. We've got the Salem. This is a tier 8 premium. What have we got? High rate of fire. So let's just have a look at the, is it a triple turret? Yeah, it's a triple turret. So Salem is going to be, I think, again, similar to the Des Moines. Improved pen angles for AP, solid AA, and a choice between sonar and radar. Well, we all know what 99.9% of Salem captains are going to be choosing. It's going to be radar. And here we go. Missouri has been permanently reduced from 30,000 to 17,500 steel. So all those guys that bought Missouri before this update are losing 12,500 steel. That is absolutely shocking that Wargaming are not going to apply that across the board. I understand their reason for it. They're saying that everybody, like those guys that have had the Missouri for a long, long time, have had the ability to play her and get the most out of her. But now, it shouldn't be one rule for one and one rule for another. I'm sorry, Wargaming. If you're going to reduce the price permanently, then you should apply that across the board, because I know you don't care about losing players, but people are going to look at this and just think, well, you obviously don't care about those people who play the game and put the effort in, and it's going to be a screw you. I'm off to play War Thunder. Because Wargaming don't care about the longer term players, because they can afford to, if you think of it as a rising funnel, like a mushroom cloud going up, they can afford to lose players out the top of that cloud, because they are bringing in new blood, and new blood will probably spend more money than those players who have been playing the game for a long time and understand how this type of game works. Free to pay, not free to play. But here we go, the tier 7 San Diego. So as I said, that's probably 17,000 doubloons. It's got sap shells, rapid reload. How many turrets we've got? We've got one, two. Oh, I don't know. Oh, this is going to be nasty. Is it the? This looks like. Is it an Atlanta? It looks like an Atlanta. I think it is, with the 6 turrets with sap shells. This is going to be. I tell you who's going to be good with this. The Monk 52 is going to be good with this, because he is very good with his AP cruisers, especially the Tiger 59, and I think he might find a new favorite. in the San Diego. So there you go. This is going to be an interesting one to watch and see how it performs, because the American cruisers tend to have high arcs. So is this going to be something that's just going to be drilling superstructures from behind cover? Um, that's going to be interesting, that one. So yeah, I'm again, I don't know every single ship in the game. I've got 330 odd ships in the game myself, but I'm thinking, is it the Atlanta that has the six turrets? I know the one of the Pan Asian cruisers looks like this as well, um, which is absolutely awful cruiser to play. I haven't had a good game in it yet. Decidedly average. But yeah, if this has got sap shells, is it only sap shells, or is it HE and sap? Yes, there is a lot of potential there. Is it going to have radar as well? Is it going to have sonar? Decaf coffee really isn't doing the trick for me again. But here we go. Republic and the ZF6 are both coming back for global XP. Now, is that the ZF6 is also available for doubloons? But there you go. They're both back for good. And I think this is something that Wargaming should do. I know a lot of people miss out on ships for whatever reason. But I do think that if they put a ship into the game as a campaign reward, that perhaps out of 12 months they should bring it back as a global XP ship and give other people the opportunity to acquire it and play it. I know people like to be OG and I was here first, and hey, I was on the alpha test and I've got the flag, which is basically we've got them to blame for how bad this game can be at times because they're the ones that were testing it. Um, but I do think it's a good idea to bring ships back. Now, the one ship that I don't think they're going to bring back is the Jean Bart. Um, we all know why. We won't go into that. Um, but yeah, it's the one ship that everybody wants brought back. It's the one ship that Wargaming aren't going to bring back. And if they do bring John Bart back, it will because their profits are tanking and they need to retain the player base. So that's my little bit of cynical thought on campaign and reward ships. So there's a couple of bug fixes here as well. So added account level 11, which unlocks access to fleets. So they've added an account level. Does that mean we have to play up to it? It'll be interesting to see if we log on and people like myself who've been playing the game for a long time automatically get um, account level 11. But the Ministry of Balance. This made for some interesting reading because it was unexpected. It was only last night we took out three Venitos and smashed some ships to pieces in quite a funny way. Um, geez, the Italian battleship line has never been very popular. Really, they're great. The Italian battleship line is probably the only battleship line that I actually enjoyed playing. Excuse me while I swig my coffee. So, what they're doing is they're turning these ships into even better brawlers. Now, that's great, making these ships into better brawlers. If only the current meta was not for battleships to sit at the back of the map and do sweet all until such time as somebody is guaranteed a decisive victory and then they decide to come forward and take all the glory and the cheap kills. The game needs to change. Is it going to change? No, it's not. When you consider that we've got so many ships with long range radar, long range torpedoes, long range secondaries, um, in some instances you can't push into brawl because people have got their secondaries out to 11 and 12 kilometers. Now, the Italian battleships we can see here, I know this is low tier, But adding 500 meters onto it is not going to make a difference. They are great brawlers. They can be great fun. Um, but you need to be up close with the Italians. And getting up close means playing dangerously. Yes, you've got your roll and smoke, but are you really going to push on your own an Italian battleship? Probably not. If you are, you're probably clinically insane, like me. But uh, brawling is not the meta. Long range secondaries and sitting and just doing damage whilst not really having to put yourself at risk. Um, I think that is the current meta, is it not? And when you've got battleships which have secondaries that are of greater range than the majority of destroyers' torpedoes, and you're bringing in more radar cruisers, I think you can see that this game is well and truly being turned against destroyers more and more with every addition and change to the game. But it is a lot of fun when you're an Italian battleship and somebody lights up a destroyer with radar and your secondaries kick off because those SAP secondaries just smash things to pieces and destroyers just get minced. But yeah, um, this to me, I know they're increasing the secondary range, but if you want them to brawl, why are you taking hit points away from the ships? You know, you want us to brawl, give us the hit points to be able to do it. Because this, to me, looks like you're actually putting a hard nerf on Italian battleships. This is a welcome thing to see. So you can get away with firing your main guns in smoke. So is it balanced? It's balanced in Wargaming's books because otherwise they wouldn't have published this or they wouldn't have done this to the ship. They will see this as being balanced. But if you want battleships to be going out there and brawling in this game, you know, you make the changes, but don't take hit points away from them because that's just going to make them more fragile. Yes, there's a risk and reward thing going on here. Um, but when you've got something like a Jean Bart that can just sit there, bow in, and just bounce shells left, right, and center forever, um, why take hit points away from, a battleship that is one of the ones that is potentially going to be pushing, rushing, and trying to counter a threat like that in the game? But here we go. We've got some extra range to the Marco Polo if you've got that one. We're getting some changes to the commanders, some completely different changes. Let's have a read through this. So Spartan base trait improved from maximum 4% to 5% for incoming damage. So damage reduction with Campione. The Revel. So main battery reload. So the maximum percentage for main battery reload is going to be 5.5 instead of 6%. Okay, so that makes Revel, a little bit of a nerf there. Geez, that is significant. AP penetration multiplier. So 2, 5, 8, and 10 to 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's a 50%, 50%, almost 50% nerf on AP pen multiplier. Why is that? Why is that so huge? Was it overpenning the whole time? And AP shell fuse time increased by 10%, which means it's going to go further into the ship before it detonates. So reduce the penetration, so it's not going to go through as far. So bring it back a little bit, and then increase the fuse time. I think might we see more citadels from this with De Revel. And there we go. We are getting. Oh, this is a good one. So I think that's where. And battleship captains, correct me if I'm wrong, but we're going to lose AP pen, which means that the shells aren't going to go slicing through those ships, so we should get less over penetrations. Increasing the AP fuse time, which should mean we given a good angle, we get more citadel hits, and then we do more citadel damage on there. That's going to be an interesting one to try out. So, ooh, Italian Italian battleship commanders are starting to feel a little bit juicy here. Mimbelli, I think he's a cruiser captain, isn't he? And I think his is reload. Yeah, cruiser main battery reload. There we go. And so they've slowed down by 0.5% main battery reload. And we've got behind the curtain. So fire from smoke, we get a reduction in detection. Okay. Reduction in incoming damage when firing from smoke. Okay. And we've extended the smoke screen. And smoke on the water has been added as a fourth row skill. I can't remember exactly what smoke on the water is. Is that the rolling smoke? Can't remember, but we'll have a look at that in a bit more detail when we do a live stream next week. So we're going to have to, I'm going to have to plan which ships I'm going to play on the live stream next week to see how some of these changes work out. So Sansonetti, so they're going to make the shells even better. Ooh, cruiser sap shell damage increased. Incoming fire dispersion. Main battery shell grouping, reduce cruiser main battery. Okay, so they've removed 2 and put 2 on. Don't really see the big one in the change for that. So cruiser captains, if you're watching this and you've got a comment on that one, please do let me know what this means to you if you like playing your Italian cruisers. So Squid's Ink, I know that's the smoke screen deployment and dispersion on full Gorsi, which is I haven't got them leveled enough to make good use of it. But here we go, 20, 30, 40, 50 to 15, 30, 45, 60. So lower, equal, better, better. So you get a much longer smoke screen. So I imagine this might move on to the new, well, something like the cruisers, something like the Paolo Emilio might benefit from this. Would the Italian destroyers benefit from this? I don't know. Some of those rolling smokes are quite short, and is he better off used as a cruiser? Reduction in smoke screen dispersion time. So increase from 50 to 10, 23, 36, 50%. So is that just gone from a flat 50 to a graded up to a maximum of 50? And here we go, Rizzo Swordfish. Ooh, destroyer sap cell damage by up to 5%. That is going to be nasty. Increased torpedo damage because those Italian torpedoes are basically like firing a wet salami against the side of a ship at time. And we've got a better engine boost duration, which is really needed for some of those new Italian destroyers. So nice to see some balance changes coming in there as those ships come out of early access. And here we go, battleship skill on second thought. Reduce main battery reload by up to 5%. Ooh, tasty, tasty. So could we see some rapid fire in Italian battleships rolling in smoke with crazy secondaries brawling away? I want to try this out now. So here we go. We've got some changes to Northern Dragon. Okay, yep, I'll let you read these. I haven't got the Northern Dragon, I don't think. But basically, it's a Japanese cruiser that's a pinata. It looks absolutely garish in its pajamas, and it almost always gets deleted within the first 3 minutes of the game. So there you go. They're making it better for you. They're also changing some of the lower tier ships, so there's a significant rework going on here. Pensacola's getting a buff to make it a little bit more agile and reduce its reload time, and it'll still get deleted if it sails broadside in the first 2 minutes of the game. New Orleans, better reload, main battery, main. So yeah, better reload speed. And ooh, it's getting much better armor. Now, I don't know all the maths behind this armor business on which guns that it can withstand. I know there is a if you multiply it by this, that, or the other, that you find out what guns. But I imagine going from a 19 to a 25 is going to be a significant difference for the New Orleans. Danier, low tier. Who's going to bother? Emerald, low tier. T22, low tier. Gator, mid-tier, Z23. So we've got a tier 7 and a tier 8 for the German destroyers, 6764. So not a huge amount, but here we go. That's a 10% reduction on torpedo reload for the tier 7 and tier 8. So if you're running Blue Ferrora, it's going to bring that down even further. Pan-Asian cruisers, half a second off, 5 seconds off, and 6 seconds off. Okay. Alright, so that's the Chum Fon that I could never play. I haven't played the Harbin yet, but again, I did find the Pan-Asian cruisers decidedly underwhelming to play. I really didn't rate them that much, but it looks like Wargaming are throwing some buffs at those guys, so they probably agreed with what I had to say about them, although they probably never listened to me as an individual. But it's nice to see that they're going to buff some of those. Here we go. So the King George V and the Duke of York have had their citadels moved back to the original locations. Um, right, okay. How on earth did you move the citadel on two battleships? And there we go, some changes to the armor models. So there we go, guys. It is the end of my read through of the patch notes. I know that it can be a little bit daunting having to go through and take in all that information. So hopefully, you can just set the video up on the side and listen to it as it plays along. But what do we take away from it? We've got 3 cruisers coming. Campaign reward, steel, and doubloons. We've got Popeye and Bluto coming in. We've got a huge reduction in the price of the Missouri for steel. Your epic mods can be upgraded to legendary mods and no longer have to cost 250 doubloons to remove. It will be 25 doubloons. We've got another card collection that's obviously going to be based around American ships. And, oh, the one thing that we didn't touch on, crates. Did we find the crates? Did we find the crates? Give me a second. Come on, where's the crates? Where's the crates? Where's the crates? Here we go. We didn't touch on the crates. So here we go. I always say, do not throw money at crates if you do not have money. It is gambling. It is plain and simple gambling. So really think about what you're going to do. Look at what is available in game. If there's something specific that you really must have in the game, go and buy that if you have the ability to do so. Don't gamble on crates. So the Semper Fortis collection, there we go. This is the crates that we'll probably get for completing these missions and picking up through the campaign. What are the 12 cards? So once you get a duplicate, you can turn 2 duplicates into a card that you were missing. So there we go. Each card has an 8.33% chance to drop. Duplicates can drop. So even if you have a card, it still has the same drop chance. As we said earlier, the Stellar containers are coming back. It doesn't appear as though the Stellar event is coming back. So 18% chance at a Tech Tree ship skin for the Algerie, New Orleans, Charles Martel, Baltimore, Galician Pensacola. Special ship skin. So legendary. Yeah, so these are legendary skins, aren't they? So space skins for Gearing, Shima, Kurfürst, Des Moines, Republic, Minotaur, and Hakuryu. and a very, 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 very small chance of picking up Space Fishy, Shelley Beepley, or John Luke. I was lucky I got Space Fishy in a free crate once, but I did buy Beepley, although I haven't upgraded her yet. So there we go. A lot of trash. Trash, yeah. Do you want your ships to look pretty? Yeah, you could do. Is there a chance you're going to get a skin out of these? Yes, there is. Um, is it worth it? Oh, it's up to you guys. It's up to you. And because we have the summer season coming around on us, we've got the summer big crates, and as you can see, it's credits, global XP, commander XP, camos, 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 boosters, 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 boosters. Promotion orders, don't need any. Premium time, commendation, insignia. I mean, look at that, 0.75% chance of dropping an insignia and a 0.4% chance of dropping some doubloons. You've actually got a better chance at dropping a tier 5 premium ship than you have of some doubloons. And again, what I will say is don't go and drop thousands and thousands of doubloons on crates hoping to get a ship. If there was a particular ship in here that you would really like to have, then go and look at the store and potentially buy it outright. So here ends this video. I need to look across to this side of the screen now and end it. It's not often I get the opportunity to go through the patch notes and do a video, and again, as I said, I've had to set up something a little bit different with the PC to do this one. So I hope you've enjoyed seeing my face. Don't forget, things will matter. This is a t-shirt from a great band from Cambridge called Lonely the Brave. Go and look them on Spotify. They are absolutely fabulous. You will enjoy their music. So, this is me signing off now until probably Monday. So, have a great weekend, and until Monday, take care of yourselves, and goodbye.